Hi students, welcome to Vidyalakshmi YouTube channel. This is your Ashok Masa Biology NEET faculty. So today we are going to discuss the remaining hormones of endocrine system. Okay. Yes. The next hormone we are going to see is called cortisol. Okay. So cortisol is the hormone. It plays an important role in carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. So particularly carbohydrates in the sense we have starch. Okay, so starch is the major polysaccharide. Okay, so within the metabolism of starch, this cortisol plays an important role, and this cortisol is useful to convert starch into simple saccharides or simple molecules. Okay, simple molecules. Okay, such as glucose and disaccharides. Okay, so that is the importance of cortisol. Okay, so cortisol is the hormone which plays important role in carbohydrate metabolism, which can convert the large molecules which is called starch into simple molecules like glucose as well as disaccharides. That is the importance of cortisol. The next hormone we are going to see is called aldosterone. So simply you can call as steroids. Okay, so this aldosterone which is very useful in reabsorption of salts. Okay, so whenever we can do more hard work, so some salts is going to be released outside in the form of sweat. Okay, so some of the salts, useful salts from our body is going to be released outside in the form of sweat. Okay, so if we lose the excess salts from our body, it leads to dehydration. Okay, so that's what, to prevent the dehydration of our body, the reabsorption of useful components or useful salts. Okay, that useful salts has been reabsorbed from our body by the importance of a specific hormone is called aldosterone. Okay, that is the importance of aldosterone. And the next hormone we can call as adrenaline. Very, very important. Okay, so adrenaline we can call as, adrenaline is going to be produced from adrenal glands. Adrenaline is going to be produced from adrenal glands. Okay, so when we observe the adrenal glands, it consists of two regions or two layers or two membranes. Okay, first one is called outer membrane and the second one is called inner membrane. Okay, so adrenal glands, it consists of two membranes, outer membrane and the inner membrane. So outer membrane is responsible to produce it is going to be responsible to produce two types of hormone, cortisol and aldosterone. Just now we have discussed. So these are the two hormones which is going to be secreted by only the inner layer, only the outer layer of the adrenal cortex. Okay. Next one, the inner layer of adrenal glands, inner layer. So this is responsible to produce only one hormone is called aldosterone. It's going to be useful to produce only one hormone is called adrenaline. Okay, so adrenaline we can also call as fight or flight hormone. Adrenaline is also called fight or flight hormone. Okay, so if you are going to do any task, okay, so the main hormone responsible for the doing of the complete task is called adrenaline. Okay, so that's what, if you are going to do the work, coming forward to that is only because of adrenaline, or if you are escaping from the task, that is because of adrenaline hormone. Okay, that's what it is called fight or flight hormone. That means to fight against the task, it is going to be useful, and to escape from the task, this hormone is going to be responsible. So that's what it is called fight or flight hormone. Okay, so this adrenaline hormone is going to be secreted by adrenal medulla region, the inner layer of the adrenal glands. Okay, and this adrenaline is going to be useful for various activities. Okay, that is the importance of adrenal fight or flight hormone, and it is also useful for complete task of escape. Just now I had told, to complete the task or to escape from the task, this adrenaline is going to be useful. Okay, next one is very, very important. Adrenaline is also useful for changing of facial expressions. So we can see some of the people immediately the changing of facial expressions. That is because of adrenaline hormone which is going to be secreted by adrenal medullary region. Okay, next one is hormone secreted by gonads. Okay, next one is hormone secreted by gonads. Okay, so gonads simply we can call as reproductive organs. Gonads we can call as reproductive organs. Okay, so before to say these hormones secreted from gonads, first of all, let us give the conclusion here is human beings are called unisexual animals. Human beings are called unisexual animals. That means male and female reproductive organs are present separately. Okay. So this process of the presence of male and female reproductive organs separately, that process we can call as unisexual organisms. So that animals we can call as unisexual organisms. So that process we can call as sexual distinction. Sexual distinction. Okay. So within human beings we can see the presence of male and female reproductive organs are present separately. That's why it is called sexual distinction, or such type of animals are called unisexual animals. Okay. So now you can see here some of the hormones they are going to be secreted by gonads. Okay. First of all you can see testes. Okay. So testes we can call as male reproductive organs. So testes we can call as male reproductive organs. Okay. So this testis is responsible to produce only one hormone, that is called testosterone hormone. Okay. So testis is responsible to produce a specific type of hormone, that is called testosterone hormone. So this testosterone is going to be useful to develop secondary sexual characters in males. Okay. Secondary sexual characters, formation of hair follicles on the face, formation of hair follicles bed on the surface of the body particles, so expanding of chest cavity, so widening of chest cavity. Okay, so all these are the secondary sexual characters in males. So the formation of the secondary sexual characters in males is being influenced by specific hormone is called testosterone hormone. Okay, and next we can see ovaries. Okay, so ovaries are called female reproductive organs. Okay, so ovaries are called female reproductive organs, and these two ovaries they used to secrete two specific hormones. Okay, so ovaries they used to secrete two specific hormones. Okay, one is called estrogen and the second one is called progesterone hormones. Okay, so estrogen and progesterone are the two hormones which are going to be secreted by ovaries. Okay, first of all you can see estrogen. Okay, so estrogen is useful to develop the secondary sexual characters in females. Okay, so estrogen is useful to develop these secondary sexual characters in females. Okay, whereas progesterone, so it is another type of hormone which is going to be secreted by ovaries. Okay, so progesterone is useful for implantation process. Okay, so here the implantation can be defined as the process of attachment of embryo to the walls of the uterus. Okay, that is called implantation process. Okay, so once you see here, estrogen is useful to develop secondary sexual characters in females, that is before fertilization. Okay, so before fertilization, whatever the changes we can observe in females, that is because of estrogen hormone. Okay, next one, progesterone hormone. So progesterone hormone is useful to going to be useful for implantation process, that is nothing but attachment of embryo to the walls of the uterus. Okay, here attachment of embryo, so it is going to be done after fertilization. So estrogen is useful in pre-fertilization changes, progesterone is going to be useful post-fertilization, after fertilization. That is the variation. Okay, so progesterone, one of the function is it is useful in implantation process, attachment embryo to the walls of the uterus. Next one, it is also useful in ovulation process, very important, ovulation process. Okay, so ovulation can be defined as the process of discharging or releasing of ovum from follicles. Okay, ovum from ovarian follicles or Griffin follicles. That process we can call as ovulation. Okay, it is an essential process which is done before fertilization. Okay, so ovulation can be defined as the process of secretion, the process of releasing or discharging of ovum from ovarian follicles or Griffin follicles of secondary oocyte. That process is called ovulation process. Okay, so within the ovulation process, this progesterone is going to be useful. Okay, so now we got two multiple functions of a progesterone hormone. One is called post-fertilization. That means attachment of embryo to the walls of the uterus is called implantation process. And the second function is it is going to be useful in ovulation process. Ovulation, discharging of, releasing of ovum. Okay, that is called ovulation process. And next one is it's also useful in placenta formation. Placenta, very important. Yes, importance of placenta. Okay, so placenta is a tube-like structure. Placenta is a tube-like structure or tube-like connection between mother to baby. Mother to baby or mother to embryo or fetus, anyone you can say. Okay, so here placenta is a tube-like structure which is a connection between mother to baby or mother to embryo or mother to fetus. Okay, so this placenta is very important and it is going to be useful for conduction or transportation of oxygen, glucose, hormones, Okay, so all these substances which are essentially required for the fetus is being transported through placenta from mother. Okay, so placenta is a tube-like structure which is going to be useful for the transportation of oxygen, which is going to be useful for the transportation of glucose, and it is going to be useful for the transportation of hormones from mother to baby or from mother to fetus. That is one of the importance of placenta. And one more function of placenta is also useful to transport the metabolic waste from embryo or fetus, from fetus to mother. Okay, so from fetus to mother, it is going to be transported to outside. Okay, so bilingual function of placenta. Okay, so one of the function of placenta is it is useful for the supplying of oxygen, glucose, hormones, what are essentially even blood also. All these substances is being transported from mother to baby through placenta. Okay, that is one function. Then one more function is some of the waste material is going to be metabolic waste material is going to be formed from the fetus, and this is going to be collected by the mother through placenta. So from placenta through mother and from mother to outside, it is going to be released to outside. So that is the importance of placenta, two multiple functions. So within the placental formation, this progesterone plays an important role. Okay, and this one more function of progesterone is also plays an important role in a special process. Progesterone is also going to be useful in a special process is called formation of menstrual cycle in females. Formation of menstrual cycle in females. Okay, so menstrual cycle, as of menstrual cycle, it occurs only in females, and particularly it is going to be started from the age of adolescence period. Okay, so menstrual cycle can be defined as the cyclic changes that occurs in female reproductive system. The cyclic changes that occurs in female reproductive system for every 28 to 30 days of the month. Okay, so menstrual cycle can be defined as the cyclic changes that occurs in female reproductive system for every 28 to 30 days of the month is called a menstrual cycle. Okay, so within the menstrual cycle, lots of changes occurs in female reproductive system, and the starting of menstrual cycle is called a menarche. Starting of menstrual cycle you can call a menarche. Okay, so this menstrual cycle will start from adolescence period onwards. That means the age period is exactly 13 years. Okay, so in 13 years onwards, this menstrual cycle will start. So the process of starting of menstrual cycle in females, that we can call as menarche. Whereas the ending of menstrual cycle, this we can call as a menopause. Okay, so this time period for females, closing of menstrual cycle in females, it is different from one people to other people, and the exact average years we can call as 45 to 50 years. 45 to 50 years. Okay, so this is about just the introduction of menstrual cycle, and within the menstrual cycle we can observe lots of changes in female reproductive system. Okay, so the cyclic changes, what we can observe in female reproductive system for every 28 to 30 days of the month, we can call as a menstrual cycle of females. Okay, so now we can see here what are different types of changes we are going to observe in menstrual cycle of females. Okay, so menstrual cycle, it occurs in two stages. Menstrual cycle, it occurs in two stages. So first stage we can call as proliferative stage. Proliferative phase or proliferative stage, anyone can say. Proliferative stage or proliferative phase. And the second one, second stage we can call as secretory phase. Secretory phase. Okay. So first phase is called proliferative phase. So this proliferative phase we can also call as follicular phase. Follicular phase. Second one is called secretory phase. So secretory phase we can also call as luteal phase. Luteal phase. Okay. So follicular phase, luteal phase, proliferative phase and secretory phase. Now let us see here. Let us see here what are the changes we are going to observe in proliferative and secretory phase. Okay. First of all, you can say about proliferative phase. Proliferative phase. Okay. So it is the first stage of menstrual cycle. It is the first stage of menstrual cycle which occurs in first 12 to 14 days of the month. It occurs in first 12 to 14 days of the month. Okay. So the first stage of menstrual cycle we can call as proliferative phase or follicular phase. Okay. So the main changes we are going to see in proliferative phase or follicular phase is, it is the first stage which occurs exactly in first 12 to 14 days of the month. Okay. And the main change we are going to see in this stage is called as the discharging or releasing of ova. That is called ovulation process. Okay. Ovum is going to be released. Ovum is going to be released exactly in 14th day. Okay. So that is the only change we are going to observe in proliferative phase or follicular phase. Okay. So proliferative stage is the first stage of menstrual cycle which occurs in first 12 to 14 days of the month. Okay. And the main changes we are going to observe in proliferative phase is ovulation process. Okay. Discharging of ova in 14th day. Okay. So exactly only one ovum is going to be produced from ovaries of Graafian follicles or ovarian follicles exactly in 14th day. Okay. So that is the only change we are going to observe in proliferative phase or follicular phase. Okay. Next we are going to see here the next stage. Second stage we can call as secretory phase. Secretory phase. So this we can also call as luteal phase. Secretory phase and second one is called luteal phase. Okay. So the main changes we are going to observe in secretory phase or luteal phase is, so it is the second stage of menstrual cycle. Second stage. Okay. And it occurs next 14 to 16 days of the month. It occurs in next 14 to 16 days of the month. Okay. So when we calculate proliferative and secretory phase, completely we may get 28 to 30 days of the month. Okay. So these 28 to 30 days are equally separated as proliferative stage and secretory stage, or proliferative phase or secretory phase. Okay. So concerned to second one, secretory phase, it is also a luteal phase, and the main changes we are going to see in secretory phase or luteal phase is, it occurs in next 14 to 16 days of the month, and the main change we are going to observe in secretory phase is formation of very important is called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is going to be formed. Okay. So the cells of vagina, uterus, fallopian tube, oviduct, all these one, they undergo meiosis to produce corpus luteum. Okay. So if corpus luteum is going to be formed, this corpus luteum, it leads to pregnancy or conceivness. Okay. So if corpus luteum is going to be formed, that leads to pregnancy or conceivness. Okay. So here we have two amplifications. Okay. One is called, if corpus luteum is going to be formed automatically, that leads to pregnancy. Okay. If corpus luteum is going to be formed automatically, that leads to pregnancy, and within the pregnant ladies, within the conceive people, with the conceived females, this menstrual cycle won't repeat till the releasing of baby to outside. Okay, so this menstrual cycle, which cannot repeat in corpus luteum formation people till the baby releasing to outside. Suppose if there is no corpus luteum is going to be formed. If there is no corpus luteum, automatically the cells of vagina, fallopian tube, oviduct, uterus, all these they expel some amount of blood in the form of bleeding. Okay, if bleeding is observed, that is the indication that there is no conceiveness, there is no pregnancy. Okay, so in those people, a menstrual cycle will repeat in next month. Okay, so here we have two amplifications. Okay, one is called if corpus luteum is formed, that is indication that she is a conceiver pregnant. That means menstrual cycle won't repeat in their bodies till the baby releasing outside. Okay, suppose if corpus luteum is not formed, the cells of vagina, fallopian tube, uterus, all these they can expel some amount of blood in the form of bleeding. So this, if bleeding has observed, that is the indication that there is no fertilization, there is no conceive. So they have to wait menstrual cycle in next month. Okay, so that is about menstrual cycle. Okay, next one is aneurysm. So here this is one of the abnormality we are going to observe in the males as well as females. Okay, so best example you can see in males. Suppose if testosterone hormone, which is going to be already we have discussed earlier, if testosterone is useful to develop secondary sexual characters in females. Testosterone is going to be useful to develop secondary sexual characters in males. Suppose if testosterone is not secreted properly or low level secretion of testosterone hormone, automatically males they loses their capability to get secondary sexual characters. So then in the situation they used to behave as a females. That condition we can call as aneurysm. Okay, so the condition at which if low level secretion of testosterone hormone is not secreted properly, that leads to a condition we can call as aneurysm. So they can't behave as a males, they can behave as a females. Okay, that is called aneurysm, low level secretion of hormone. Okay, so this is about hormones secreted from gonads. Okay, yes, now we can see here different types of hormones. Last we are going to see. Okay, yes, now we can see here different types of hormones we are going to see here is called, as you can see here, pituitary gland. So which we already discussed that pituitary gland is called master gland of the body. Pituitary gland is called master gland of the body. Why? Because the secretion of all the hormones. So whatever the hormones we have discussed in this period as well as before that also, the maximum hormones, most of the hormones are being secreted from pituitary gland. Okay, so that's what pituitary gland is called, master gland of the body. Okay, so pituitary gland is responsible to produce different types of hormones like growth hormone. So we have discussed earlier. So growth hormone is going to be responsible for increasing of the person, whether it is male or female. Okay, so growth hormone, ACTH, that is called adrenocorticotrophic hormone. Okay, simply we can call as ACTH. Okay, A means adreno, C means cortico, T means trophic, H means hormone. Adrenocorticotrophic hormone. Okay, so it is also going to be secreted from adrenal glands, which is going to be influenced by pituitary gland. Okay, so ACTH, next TSH, that is called testosterone stimulating hormone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. LH means luteinizing hormone. FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, next one is LH, that is called luteinizing hormone. Okay, luteinizing hormone. Next one, prolactin, which is going to be useful for ejection of milk after the childbirth. Okay, prolactin and antidiuretic hormone, which we can call as ADH. A means anti, D means diuretic, H means hormones, antidiuretic hormone. So all these are the hormones which are effectively produced from pituitary gland. That's why pituitary gland we can call master gland of the body. Okay, so these are the hormones secreted from pituitary gland. Next we are going to see here is called parathyroid gland. Okay, So these parathyroid gland which are present just near to the neck region, thyroid gland. Okay, just near to the thyroid gland. So this parathyroid gland is responsible to produce parathyroid hormone or parathormone hormone. Okay, so this parathormone is going to be useful. This hormone is going to be useful for absorption of salts. That is the importance of parathormone. Next one is thymus gland. Okay, so thymus gland is responsible to produce different types of hormones. Okay, next one is pancreas. Very, very important. So pancreas is the one and only mixed gland of our body. Pancreas is one and only mixed gland of the body is called pancreas. Okay, so pancreas is responsible to produce two hormones. One is called insulin and the other one is called glucagon. Okay, so these are the two hormones which are secreted by pancreas. Okay, so insulin is useful to control blood glucose level. Blood glucose level is going to be controlled by insulin, whereas glucagon is going to be useful in carbohydrate metabolism. So that's the importance of insulin as well as glucagon hormones. Okay, next one is testis. So just now we have discussed. Okay, so testis is the hormone which is going to be useful to develop secondary sexual character. So testis is responsible to produce hormone is called testosterone hormone. Testosterone. Okay, so this testosterone hormone is useful to develop the secondary sexual characters in males, only in males. Okay, next one is ovaries. Okay, so ovaries just now discussed. So ovaries are the female reproductive organs. So these ovaries are responsible to produce two hormones is called estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen is useful to develop second sexual characters in females, whereas progesterone is useful in formation of menstrual cycle, ovulation, corpus luteum formation, placenta. All these are going to be influenced by progesterone hormone. Okay, next one is adrenal glands. Just now I discussed adrenal glands. So adrenal glands are responsible to produce two layers. Adrenal glands has two layers. Okay, so these adrenal glands which has two layers, it consists of three hormones. Three hormones will be secreted. Okay, so adrenal cortex outer region, it can secrete two hormones called cortisol and aldosterone. These are the two hormones secreted by adrenal cortex. Then the medullary region of adrenal gland, they used to secrete only one hormone is called adrenaline. Okay, so cortisol is useful in carbohydrate metabolism. Whereas aldosterone is going to be useful for reabsorption of salts, which is useful to prevent dehydration of our body. Okay, next one is adrenaline. So it is also called fight or flight hormone. So just now I discussed, it is also called fight or flight hormone, which fight against the task or to escape from the task. So that is the importance of adrenaline hormone. Next one is thyroid gland. Okay, so this thyroid gland which is present near to the neck region, just above the parathyroid gland. So this thyroid gland is responsible to produce hormone is called calcitonin, which maintains calcium level properly in our body, and it's also useful in production of hormone is called thyroxine hormone. Okay, so thyroxine hormone is also useful in carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. Next, last hormone is called pineal gland. So this pineal gland is going to be useful for the secretion of a hormone is called melatonin. Okay, so this melatonin hormone plays an important role in various functions of our body. So it is going to be useful in maintaining of water balance. Next, it is also going to be useful in pigmentation formation. It is also going to be useful in salts maintaining concentration. All these are going to be controlled by this pineal body. Okay, so this is about the complete coordination in human beings by only the hormones. Okay, so next class we are going to discuss about coordination in human beings by nervous system. Okay, so thank you for attending class.